Okay, welcome. Thanks for joining me today, St. Patrick's Day. So let's just start with our basic warm-ups, just following the flow of our normal class. So starting at the top, find that neutral position first, okay? So I've been talking about this a lot because it's been in my practice a lot recently. Root into your feet. We talk about the bubbling well, but feel the weight evenly dispersed through your feet as we do these warm-ups, okay? Find the balance from your big toe to your little toe and the front of your foot on your ball to your heel, okay? Find that position, lifting up, shoulders down, and then we're gonna start with the head. So chin to chest, lifting back up, just drawing chin to chest and then looking up. Nice natural breathing, never going more than 70%. If our breathing changes, we're going too far. So find that breath so we can draw it through to our practice. This time when we draw our chin to our chest, we're just gonna lift back up into that natural position. We're gonna look over one shoulder, come back to center and across to the other side. So just like we would do in single whip, you might notice that you're a little bit tighter on one side or the other, maybe simply because we're always looking left for single whip. And then we're going to combine it together. So back to center, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, dropping the head back and around to the other side, and then chin comes back to the chest. So moving at your own pace. If you want to make a smaller circle, a little bit faster, really feel that stretch. It's up to you. Follow your own body as we move through the form, through the warm-ups, through every aspect. When you come to your chin to your chest, go the other direction. So keeping those shoulders down, natural breathing, moving at your own pace. One or two more circles. And then we'll come back with our chin to our chest and gently lift back up. All right, keeping that weight even on your feet here, we're gonna do the shoulders. So come back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, up, forward, and down. So nice rotation here. Really warming up the joints, feeling that stretch maybe around the back, or maybe as we draw the shoulder blades together. So you can have as much or as little arm movement as you need. And then we're gonna go the other direction. So we go forward, up, back, and down. So really using your shoulders here. Again, natural breathing. One more time. Let the shoulders sink and hang down. Let's move into our elbows here. So we draw the arms out to the side. We'll drop the palms down, rotating as we get to the top, using your elbows here. So rotate. The upper arms kind of stay in position here. Good, rotating. This is the feeling we should have in many of our movements, especially today as we go into wave hands like clouds, and then we can go the other way. So again, using your elbows, so we press down, palms are in the back, rotate at the sides. So really flexing the elbows here, just loosening up the joints. Now let's combine it together. So let's draw the arms in, fingertips point towards you, and the elbows and wrists. So we draw in, circle the wrist. Palms face down, they point out, rotate. And then we can go the other direction, so pulling it in and out. Good. One or two more circles. And then reach up, really stretch it out, and let your arms hang down. Okay, onto the hips. So you can take a little bit wider stance if you want. Feel that rooting here. We're going to do the same thing. So hips to the side, circling. So you can really make a big circle or you can make a smaller one. It's up to you. Follow what your body needs today. This is a warm-up for your practice. All of our bodies are tight in different ways. They all need different things. So follow your own. Go the other direction. Feel the weight transferring on your feet as your hips move. It doesn't stay in the same position. It's actually moving as you move your hips. Okay, let's come back to center. I'm going to take a step back so we can move into the legs here, okay? So let's start with our hips, okay? So picking up a leg, rotating, challenging our balance a little bit. So you don't have to go so high. I just want everyone to work on their balance a little bit, okay? Working the hips. We're in section 2, so we're going to move into the kicks here. Then go the other direction. So maybe just rotating, coming down, or a little circle, okay? It all helps with your hip when you open up to the side. Okay, let's drop that leg. Transfer your weight to that leg that was lifted. And then the same thing. So center and open. Open. And again, you can do a smaller circle, keeping your leg closer to the ground, or you can open it up really big. Working the hip area. Well, other direction. You can always hold your arms out, or maybe just one arm to kind of balance. It does help. It's part of what we do in the kicks. Okay? Good. All right, let's shake it out. So maybe balancing, maybe just shaking the limbs, whatever feels good. Or if you want, draw the shoulders up and really throw it down. Just shake out your body. Energy's flowing now. Okay. Feel ready to do some Tai Chi? All right. So last week we had the repeat movements of parry, block, and punch with the new transition from chop fist and grasping the bird's tail with the new transition from parry, block, and punch. So we're going to practice from cross hands all the way through to single whip, okay? Then we'll see if anyone has any questions on the movements we worked on last week, and then we'll move into wave hands like clouds. So I'll face the other direction so we all move the same way, and let's start at cross hands. Feet are shoulder width apart. Outside edge of your feet with the outside edge of your shoulders. Right arm comes on the outside. Embrace tiger, return to the mountain. Shifting your weight so you can turn your left foot. Separate your arms so you can make 2 circles. Step out, open up, and show striking similar to brush knee. Connect out to your opponent. Turning your waist to show roll back. Circle in, touch the forearm for press. Square up your shoulders, open up your arms, pull back, sit up your palms, push out. Fist under elbow, flatten the arms, transitioning like single whip, big circle, push out to the side. Transition step, ward off, rotate to show grabbing, lifting up and punching, empty stance on the heel. Repulse monkey, circling your right arm, step, pushing off your front heel. Number 2, hands in front of the shoulder when you step back, one arm forward, one back. Number 3, nice smooth transitions. Rotating. Diagonal flying. Big circle with the arms. Step. Show splitting energy and your body is turning. Step back, raise hands, and then step forward, empty stance on the heel. White crane, arms circle down, close step, open up, empty stance on the toe. Brush knee, palm faces you, one arm up, one down, step, open up, legs and arms arrive together. Needle at sea bottom, letting your opponent pull you, pulling back, elbows and shoulders down, change to the toes, sink down. Fan through the back, touching the wrist, step bow stance, one arm forward, one back. Turn body, chop with fist, protecting your head as you rotate, pressing down, make a fist, chop, bring your weight forward with the strike. Parry, block, and punch, connecting out like embrace tiger. Both arms go down, stepping to the corner, hold your opponent back, and then punch. Shift a little bit of weight back. Show warding off as your fist sits down. Rotate for grabbing. Ward off right. Roll back. Moving from corner to corner. Little circle of the arm. Touch the forearm. Press out. Open up the arms. Square up the shoulders. Pulling back. Push. Single whip. Flatten the arms. Left arm shows pulling first. Big circle. Arms go to straight. Circle back. Fingertips together. Out to the side. Make a hook. Show block and strike. Okay. How do we feel about everything up until this point? Good. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, let's go over the transitions again from last week, okay? Because wave hands like cloud isn't as, it's not gonna take as long as some of the other movements, okay? So let's start at chop with fist, and we're gonna go through parry, block, and punch just to ward off right, okay? Because those are the new movements. So let's stop and check our position. So our right leg is forward. We have our fist at our hip and our left palm is striking. Shift your weight back, and as you shift back, your left arm rotates, your right fist comes in front of your shoulder. Connect out as all of your weight moves back. So your left fingertips point to your right forearm center. Circle both arms down, pick up, step, and as you parry out, bring all of your weight forward here. Now, left arm and left leg step out together, and then show punching as you go into your bow stance. Shift back a little bit of weight. Show warding off with your left arm. Your right fist is in a diagonal position. You're going to rotate your left arm, circle your right arm underneath, step out, and then ward off right. Okay, let's do it again. So step back a couple of bow stances. Right legs forward. Left palm striking. Right fist is at your hip. Move back your weight. Make like your bicycle movement, connecting out. Circle the arms down. Stepping out to the corner, move all of your weight forward so you can pick up left arm, left leg. And then show punching. Shift back a little bit of weight. Show warding off with your left arm. Rotate to grab. Right arm circles underneath. And one up and one down for ward off right. Okay. Is that getting better from last week? All right, Karen, good. Yes, that's what I want to see. It's a hard transition. It takes a lot of time to kind of really get that one. But once you learn it here, you're going to see that it repeats throughout the form. So everything we do in the beginning then repeats, especially once you get to the third section, okay? So today is wave hands like clouds. So before we get into the transition from single whip to single whip, I just want everyone to stand in one position like we would in the wellness exercises, okay? So feet are shoulders width apart. And what I want you to do is I want you to feel like wave hands like clouds. So bring your left arm up. It's going to show warding off, and it's going to rotate out to the side. Then it circles down using your elbow. You connect. So you're connecting here, and you're showing grabbing and then pulling down to the side. So we connect in the center. So I'm not wide like this, right? I'm connecting in the center of my body because someone would be coming directly at me. So imagine that you have to use your forearm, this outer edge of your arm, okay, to connect. So we never want to be like this. We want to show warding off. Rotate, show pulling. Then it comes underneath, keeping our shape here, right? We don't want to close in. Keep your shape as you ward off, rotate to show grabbing, and then come down. So we have that arm, right? Let's do the right arm. So if we connect up, center, rotate to show grabbing, pulling down, then we come underneath. Use your elbow. And what's going to happen is your waist is going to turn to the corner. And then we come back to square. Okay, so we're going to be turning our waist from corner to corner. Yep, so up, rotate, pulling to the side, rotate your elbow so your fingertips point down, ward off, just like we were earlier. We were warding off. Okay, we did our punch and then we were warding off. It's the same thing that we just did. So ward off, rotate to show grab, bend your elbow, ward off. Okay, so now here's the tricky part. This is like the, what is it, pat your head and rub your belly thing. Okay, we have to make these two circles, but they're moving at opposite times. Okay, so we're putting these exact two movements together, but one's going up, one's going down, okay? So we connect, and as we rotate, our right arm is gonna come up. And when we get to the side, we should be to the side direction, but our body is to the corner, okay? Our palm is straight to the side. Our left finger or right fingertips point to our left forearm center. We rotate to show grabbing, and we turn our waist to the other side. So check here. We don't want to have our arms to the corner. Can you see the difference? I'm just moving my arms. It looks like I'm moving my waist, but I'm just moving my arms. So the arms are to the side. Our waist is to the corner. So show connect, rotate, and pulling out to the side. Connect, rotate, pulling out to the side. And don't forget about your lower arm shape here. So as we do this, keep the space. So see how my arms are facing the camera, but my body is not? So then I come to square, then I'm to the other corner. I'm square, and then to the other corner. So it's just corner to corner, okay? Let's see. So keep going. I'm gonna watch you guys, see how it looks. So just rotating, circling the arms. Good. Okay, as we do these movements, Try not to have your arm come up like this, okay? We want, it's an upward circle, right? There's a circle here, like an arch of an eyebrow, a rainbow. Well, not really rainbow because it's not too high, but it's a gentle slope, right? But we want to make sure that we don't do this and then turn and go down. We don't want to go straight, turn, go down. We want to use our arm and rotate. Rotate. So as we're doing that, our waist is turning and we're opening our arm a little bit. So it's not that I'm just here and rotate and turning my waist, because if I was just turning my waist, this palm would end up at corner direction too, right? So everyone do that. Have your ward off arm. Get used to this feeling with just rotating, okay? So this is what we're doing. This is what shows grabbing, because this is the connection point, right? So we've connected and we grab. We connect to that opponent and we grab, okay? So this is the grabbing. Now, turn your waist, don't move your arm. Come back. Turn your waist, don't move your arm. Where does your arm end up? Corner direction, right? So there is a little bit of arm movement in this, because when we do this, we're not going to corner, we're going to straight. So there's an opening in the arm here, okay? But we don't want it to be this kind of opening. We don't want it to go straight up and then down. We want to feel that rotation and just mostly use our body and a little bit of opening. So if you did it on the other side, feel what it feels like not to move your arm. If you just turned your arm and that was it, you wrote, all you did with your arm was rotate it and you just turned your waist. It's corner, right? Corner. But so you want this feeling and you want to open it to straight, so that 45 degrees past, your arm will move that little bit more. Does that make sense? Ooh, it looks better. It looks much better. Does that make sense to everyone? I just saw a huge change. It really looks good. Okay, so now let's try to do that with both of the arms, right? So you can start with your arms out to one side and try to keep that rotation as you do both arms, right? So the same thing, our waist is turning, we're rotating our arm, and it's just opening a little bit. Yes. So this is actually one of Master Yang's wellness videos, one of his wellness exercises. If you go on YouTube and look it up, you can stop. It's his second set of wellness exercises, okay? So if you just type in Yangjun wellness exercises and you look for part 2, this is the first exercise in part 2. And you can follow him as well, okay? So now that you guys are professionals with the arm movements, which is the hard part, let's talk about the footwork, okay? So we're going from single whip to single whip, okay? So the footwork, we're in our bow stance with our left leg forward, okay? So from here, we're gonna shift back our weight so that we can turn our left foot to straight. So turning to straight. Now take a look down and see if your foot actually got to straight. Because what's gonna happen is you're now gonna shift your weight to the left, pick up your right foot, and you're gonna step in shoulder width. Then we shift our weight to the right, we pick up and we step double wide. Shifting, step in, shoulder width. Shift your weight to the right, step out, double wide, shifting to the left, and then we step corner direction. So 45 degrees, because we're gonna shift our weight, relax your left foot, and step out for a bow stance. Okay, so we're going from bow stance to bow stance, but we're learning a new foot technique. Now it's not totally new because we've already learned this shoulder width stance in cross hands, right? We start every single class in this shoulder width stance. So when you get to that one, it should feel like it did in cross hands, okay? So let's go from single whip, starting just footwork. Left leg is forward, nice bow stance, okay? I'm gonna face the other direction so we all move the same way, okay? So find a nice shoulder width stance you're comfortable, shift your weight back. Use your waist to turn your foot and your leg to square, to straight. 12 o'clock, move your weight to the left, pick up. Toe touches first, then the rest of your foot. Shift your weight to the right, pick up, step double wide. So double the width of your shoulder stance. Shift your weight to the left, step in, shoulder width, shift right, pick up, step, shift your weight to the left, step in, shoulder width, shifting to the right so you can pick up, step double wide, shift to the left. Now this time, stepping to the corner direction. Shift your weight to the right, relax your foot so you can pick up and step out for a normal bow stance. Okay, how do we feel about the footwork? Okay, so we already kind of did the upper body and footwork, right? With the arm movements. Now we just have to kind of coordinate this double wide to shoulder width, whereas we were just in shoulder width, okay? So I'll show you one time because I want you to see the beginning. So we're in single whip. Our body is straight up square, hooks to the corner, our palm is to straight. We're gonna shift back our weight, the arms don't change. We're gonna turn our foot, and as we turn, our hook's gonna come to the straight direction. And our palm is gonna be kind of corner direction, but it's not straight corner, it's kind of facing the forearm, okay? So from single whip, we shift back, use your waist as your arms turn to the side. From here, we're gonna show pulling the whole time. So grab and pull, your hook starts to open up, and we step in shoulder width. So we're on the side. We're weights in the center when we reach the middle position. Our weight is in our right leg, so we can step as our arms are to the side. We shift, arms are to the side, step in. Arms are to the side, step out. So we're stepping in and out. So shoulder width, double wide, and then here's the big one. So we step in corner. We do just like we did before, but this time we make a hook. We drop our elbow some more so we can show block and strike for single whip. Okay? So everyone, if you do the single whip arms, I'm gonna come closer just for this part, okay? So we're in our single whip, maybe a baby bow stance. Shift your weight a little bit. Now turn your body. Where did your arms end up? Do we have one straight? And this one's corner-ish because it's still rounded, right? So I'm not straight to the corner like this. I'm corner direction. So just that part. So from single whip, move back, turning. Take a look at your hook hand. Is it to your straight direction? It's not to corner. It's not back here. It's straight, right? So that would be corner, straight, rear. Can you see the difference? And then from here, hook starts to drop, opening up the hook, showing pulling, and coming to the side. We step in. Now, how do we feel about that? You guys were doing great with the arms, but that little bit is different. Okay, let's try to put it together. I love this. You guys are doing great. Okay, so I'm gonna go, let's see. I'm gonna have to go the regular direction, and then we're gonna have to be opposites for just a minute so you guys can see the arms, okay? So we're in single whip, okay? So make sure you have a nice bow stance to start. Hooks corner, palms straight, left foot's forward. Shift back your weight. Arms don't change. Turn your waist and your foot and leg. This is the first kind of picture moment. Show pulling as your hook hand comes down and you shift your weight. Pick up and step shoulder width. Show rotate and grab as you shift your weight to the right. Pick up and step when you're on the side. Rotating, grabbing, pulling, shoulder width. Shifting to your right, double wide, shoulder width. So every time we're on the side of the arms, we step out and then we shift our weight. We pick up, we step to the corner, and this time, make your hook, let your elbow drop a little bit more so that you can block and then strike. Let's see.
Are we always moving to the left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so you'll see wave hands like clouds 2 more times in the form. And so every time we move the same direction with this movement. And every time it goes from single whip to single whip. Okay? Any questions so far? This one's a fun one. So this is the first time, or probably the only time within this form, that we see this silk reeling energy, this continuous circular energy. You'll see this a lot in Chen forms, where it's more spiraling, okay? But this is the one time. So this might feel different than the ward off energy, that straightforward direct lines that we have throughout the rest of the form, right? Because everything's we're coming forward, right? Everything's forward, forward. This one is all to the side the whole time, okay? So again, when we're doing this movement, think about your waist. If you're having trouble balancing from one leg or the other, I would guess to say that you're trying to pick up your leg and keep your torso to the side or keep your torso to straight, okay? So when you're doing this, when you're shifting your weight, your waist needs to be turning. So I'm going from single whip where I'm to this corner, okay? I shift back, I turn, turning to this corner. I step in and I'm turning the whole time. Okay, so I'm corner and then I'm corner. I come corner, corner. So this is a great movement to get used to using your waist, okay? Getting used to going from one to the other, back and forth. And if you're not using your waist, then your arms are gonna end up to corner instead of to the side, or they'll end up straight. You wanna use your waist, let your arms open a little bit so that you're to the side, and then I'm to the other corner, okay? So I'm exaggerating here, but do you understand? Corner, corner. Okay, let's do it again. I will face the opposite direction so that we all move in the same way, okay? So starting at single whip, find a nice bow stance, left leg forward, left hand striking, hook to the corner. Move back your weight, turning your arms, hook ends up to the side. Show pulling as the hook opens up and comes down. Arms are to the side, step shoulder width. Circle in the arms, they come to the side, we step out double wide. Circle, show that rotate, grab and pull shoulder width. To the side, double wide. We'll add in some step shoulder width. To the side, double wide. Shoulder width. We're just doing quite a few here. Double wide. Now this time, step to the corner direction. Complete it just as before, but then drop your fingers to make a hook. Drop your left elbow so you can ward off or block and then strike. Okay, how do we feel? You guys were just doing so great in warm-ups. I kind of feel like you got it, right?
Well, it kind of feels like when we're doing each reeling, I guess, our whole body is kind of following it like a metronome.
Yes. Yes, we're moving from it's just like a metronome. It's like a dink, dink, just like a metronome. It should feel even when you go from side to side. So you shouldn't feel like I'm getting fast and then I'm slowing down and then I'm getting fast. You want to be even and continuous. And this is a good thing to practice and work on that to bring to the rest of your form. If you can find that in this, you can bring it through the rest of the form. Okay. How do you guys feel about doing it on your own? Rita or Kelly, can you raise your hand if I can spotlight you? Rita, are you okay with it? Okay. I'm going to spotlight Rita for a moment, and then I just want to see what everyone's got going on. Okay, so from single whip, you're going to move back your weight, turning, hook comes to the side direction, show pulling and grabbing as the hook arm goes down, step in shoulder width, 2 circles, double wide, just keep trying the footwork. Don't worry about the arms, you'll get it. Circling, double wide, and then shoulder width. Move at your own pace. You'll all get to single whip at the same time. So we do 3 of these. And then on the last one, we'll go to corner. So 1 more double wide, and then we go to corner. That looks good. Nice work. Okay. How did you guys feel about that? Unmute yourselves for a minute and give me some feedback. I want to know where you have problems.
Well, I know I've been doing it wrong for a long time, so I'm going to have to do a lot of practice.
That's one of the things, right? Once you learn it one way, it takes a long time to undo that. It takes more thought to undo it than it does to learn it the first time. I would say it might be more frustrating to learn it the first time because there's so much going on, but you don't have to undo everything. So great work though, good practice. Anyone else have any comments about their wave hands like clouds?
Yeah, when we first start out and we were coming back to start the full set, I think my feet are wrong because my left foot it's not straight, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
is it coming?
Yeah, it's kind of like inward.
So you just pause. So it takes a while to get used to that. And so, right, principle number 1 that we talk about is lifting up. But sometimes it helps if we're here. Take a little look down, or maybe I get to here and then I take a look to see, because you'll get more used to it. But single movement practice will help with foot alignment. So just doing one single movement and maybe just doing the footwork alone so you can check on it. Okay. Because your arms look great. They really, really do. So I would say don't focus on that right now. Try to focus on getting that footwork. And I was doing this in the basics class. We were just doing footwork. Mm-hmm. Because the footwork is the whole basis of our form, right? So if we can find that stability and also pay attention to where the weight is in your foot. So like when you go back and you go to shift your weight onto that foot, you can probably feel that it's more on the inside of your foot. Yeah. Like it feels a little off. So then you'll know, like maybe you can shift a little bit back for a second and adjust. Okay. And you'll get more used to what that feeling is. You'll keep honing it in. It's one of those things with Tai Chi, like maybe our lean, we go too far with our lean and then we're not enough. And then finally we get everything in a line. Right. Kind of like that with our footwork. Shoulder width is too wide, then it's too narrow, then it's perfect. Or maybe there's like 10 stages in between, of like too wide, narrow, keep going back and forth till we find it. But the first step in performing the form at a higher level, or, if with, I can't think of the right way to word this, like to more of what Master Yang is doing is to be aware of the things that we're doing wrong, so that's the first step with anything, right? Is if we're aware of what we're doing or how we're acting in any situation, like what our body's doing, what our mind is thinking while we're doing the form, then we have the ability to change that, you know? So if you can say like, oh, you know, like when I'm doing the form, I'm thinking about this. Well, you know, you're thinking about that. So now you can bring that into, you know, focusing on the form. Whereas you're saying like, oh, I noticed my foot's doing this. Well, now you know, so you can change it. And that's an exciting time.
Cheryl, so I want to bring my hands in here. Can I see you from this side so I can see how far out your arms are?
Yeah, so it's about keeping that space. So I'm coming to the corner. I'm not going to move my footwork, right? So as I do this, I keep my space. So there's space in my arm here. So I'm not letting my armpit close. Okay, so there's a difference of rounding your arm, using your elbow versus coming in.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so there's space here. You know, we're not close. So just try to, who said, I think it was Kelly. Did you say something about a piece of fruit under the arm or something one day? Yeah, so I don't remember what the piece of fruit was, but I remember Kelly talking about this, and it's a good reference because it will make you think like, oh, I gotta keep this open. You know, you can't just smash whatever it is, right? So think about it like that. That was a great thing. Everyone has their, like, it's amazing with all of our instructors, how many great little tidbits you can get from everybody. Okay, so let's do it again. And for each one of us, we have something different to work on, right? So if you're working on your footwork, focus on your footwork this time. If you're working on your arms, your body shape, keeping the energy flowing, focus on that, okay? So from single whip, wave hands like clouds, and then single whip. Okay, so left foot forward, right foot's 45 degrees, left hand striking, hook is to the corner direction. Shift back your weight, turning your body. We're gonna stop and pause here. Drop your left hand, look at your foot. Adjust if need be. Bring your left hand back up, hooks to the corner. Show pulling. Keep that space in your arm. Step double wide. Right arm's rotating. Step double wide. And then step shoulder width. Now I want everything straight. If not, adjust. And then we're gonna shift our weight to the right so we can step double wide. We're gonna do one more. Shoulder width. Feel like it did when you adjusted your footwork. Double wide. This time we step to the corner direction. So wave hands like clouds right until the end where we make a hook. Drop our left elbow so we can show blocking and striking. Okay. Now, did everyone feel like they were able to work on their specific thing? Did we have a little bit of improvement?
Yeah, I did. I was
Okay.
rotating too
Now
far.
let's.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I was rotating too far.
Yes. That's perfect. So now you know, and now you can change the feeling of when you stop, right?
Yes.
So, Karen, better with the arms? Well, we have two Karens. It will come. For the other Karen, do the wellness exercises, okay? Like the arm movements for both Karen. This is like watch Master Young and just do the wellness exercises, okay? And just do this movement because once you can get used to this movement, then you can add in the stepping, right? Because shifting our weight causes sometimes our balance to go off. So then we're focused on that. We kind of lose where the arms are. So by staying in one position, then we can focus on rotating the arms, right? And not closing. We can keep it open, okay? Let's do it again with no stops, okay? So just a smooth flow. You can move at your own pace or follow mine. It's up to you, okay? So left leg forward. Left palm striking, single whip. Move back your weight, turning. Arms come to the side, show pulling, right arm comes down, shoulder width. double wide, shoulder width. How's your breathing? Double wide. Just nice, smooth arms. Just enjoy this circular motion. Double wide, shoulder width, making the hook, blocking, and striking. Okay. Ooh, good end postures. Everyone is so upright in single whip. It's actually a hard thing to do. You guys look great. So any questions on that today? You guys are really doing good. So if the arms are giving you trouble, Google Master Yang wellness exercises or Yang Jun wellness exercises. It's part 2. It's the first exercise of part 2, and it's just in that shoulder width stance, and you can follow along with him and just kind of get it that way and then add the footwork in, okay? So next week, we're gonna be working on high pad on horse, and we'll see where we're at, you know, in terms of time, because what's gonna happen is next week we get into the kicking section, okay? Yeah, so the kicking section is fun, but I think what I'd like to do, and that's why I had everyone stand on one leg today, right? And open your hips, because I wanted to challenge your balance. The kicking section can be hard, and sometimes we dread it. You know, every person's different. I love the kicks. I just think they're so much fun. But that's what we're getting into. So we have another week. So don't worry, we're gonna find our footwork and find our balance before we move on, okay? So I just wanna show for everyone who's new what we're getting into here. So I'm just gonna show from this direction so you can see the arm movement. So we come from single whip, and we're gonna go into high pad on horse. So we shift back our weight, we change to an empty stance on the toe, and then we show striking to the throat. Maybe we'll work on the first part of the kick, which is circling the arms, stepping out, and showing pulling, like a splitting almost, okay? So no matter what, we're not working on the kick next week. We just might work on the beginning section of it, okay? So this is where I wish I had another person with me, but the meaning of wave hands like clouds is actually throwing your opponent to the side. So you're actually throwing someone. This is connecting, and you're throwing them to the side, okay? So you can imagine it's just throwing one person after another, like an old Kung Fu movie where they just keep showing guy after guy coming at somebody, and they just keep tossing them away. This is what wave hands like clouds is. Yes, this is it, right? So this is a fun movement. This is that circular movement within the Yang style, which is a more direct and kind of a ward off energy. Whereas this is that circling, spiraling energy, okay? So let's close class by doing it one more time, and then we'll do our salute, okay? So from single whip through wave hands like clouds to single whip. Left foot forward, upright position, single whip. Shift back your weight, wave hands like clouds, turning. Right hook opens up, shoulder width, shifting our weight, stepping out double wide, shoulder width. Just letting your arms flow, or maybe just focusing on your footwork. Shoulder width, double wide, and this time we come to the corner direction. So just like normal, until we make a hook, drop our left elbow to show blocking and striking. Okay. All right, everyone. You did so great today. Thank you for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Oh, Cheryl,
Yeah.
I heard it was somebody's birthday today.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
It is.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Cheryl.
Happy birthday,
It was a
Cheryl.
good one.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I have a question. Are you taking over Dee Dee's